Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. Today, we're gonna get right into it. We'll be talking about Denver's hottest neighborhoods, but from a pro and con standpoint. So everything that you must know, whether it's a good thing, not a good thing, subjectively, one or the other. Either way, we're diving into it.
So to start this video off, guys, we're gonna jump right into our first neighborhood, but to set some context for the rest of the video, what we're gonna do is we're going to highlight our pros and cons of each of these areas. Then in between, we're gonna jump in and do a map tour to really show you guys, hey, on the ground, what do these neighborhoods look like? And maybe we can highlight some of the pros and some of the cons on the map tour as well.
Eli's really good at Google Earth and just navigating that. If there was a pilot license for Google Earth and how he maneuvers it, he should have his own course or certification process to be as good as he is. However, it's also his little way of getting more camera time.
There we go.
Or last words into the videos. A lot of you appreciate Eli. We all know I love
That's
and
right.
appreciate
That's
Eli.
right.
Zombie! Get off me, zombie!
We all know that, but it's also a great way of just allowing us to explain some topics of discussion and then show you guys through Google Earth those topics of discussion specifically just so you can have some eyes on.
Now, the first neighborhood we want to highlight here is one that we've done a lot in the past, but we haven't gone back there in a little bit, and that is Cherry Creek North. And this is different than Cherry Creek down south. This is actually Cherry Creek neighborhood in the city of Denver.
Correct. So just to give you guys some map reference, right? Just north of the Cherry Creek Mall, you've got a great neighborhood that's over there, very exclusive. You got a lot of nightlife that goes on. Not necessarily nightlife, but like happy hour life. You've got some great restaurants. Probably one of the hottest places that you guys could live outside of Denver that's going to give you the most downtown Denver feel without being downtown Denver.
Yeah, we call it the Beverly Hills of Denver. If there is one, it would be Cherry Creek North.
Not everybody's a fan of that because we also show Beverly Hillbillies.
That is Black Gold, Texas tea.
That's right. That's
Every
right.
time we talk about it, like all the locals or the friends that we have that live in
Yes.
Cherry Creek North, they get a kick out of it. They disagree with us, and I see where they're coming from, yet I just super hard
You have
disagree
to.
with
You
them.
have to. And they live in Cherry Creek. They'll be all right. So diving into the pros, Will already touched on a lot of them here. My first pro is how walkable Cherry Creek North is.
Yep.
With all the shopping and dining and everything that's right there, butting right up to the homes. And
Right.
man, there are gorgeous homes there. I don't think there's a more walkable neighborhood in Denver.
I'm glad you mentioned how close it is to homes because typically when we talk about something being walkable, it's like once you take the light rail there or once you drive there, then it's walkable. This is completely walkable from right out of your doorstep. And Colorado being a very pro dog friendly state, Cherry Creek North is also very dog friendly. So if you do have animals, if you do have dogs and you want to take them on a walk or you're grabbing your coffee, whatever it is in the morning, you can also take your dog and walk that neighborhood. But I can't think of a neighborhood that's got more to do.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also just as walkable.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even close.
100%. I'm also a big fan of the styles of homes that are out there because Cherry Creek is unique in the sense of when you're walking up and down these blocks, you'll see very super modern contemporary style of
Scrapes
homes.
that are brand new builds.
Yep, you'll see those brand new builds, and then you'll go and you'll see something that is maybe a little more rustic and Tuscany vibes.
You will, and that would also be a new build.
Yes, yep.
Correct, like a scrape and a new build, but you've got pre-existing homes there that still give you Denver's vibe, like just
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Denver's like bungalow style homes. You've
Yep.
also got some mid-modern century homes that are down there, but what's really cool is in Cherry Creek North, you've got some apartments and some
Yep.
condos that you
Lots
can live in
of
as
them.
well. You don't get a lot of that in downtown Denver. Proximity per square foot, you probably have more of that in Cherry Creek North
Yeah.
with some of their brand new buildings that are just across the street from the mall than you actually do per square foot of downtown Denver. So really cool option that you have, and for a lot of folks that appreciate and enjoy that type of living, you might prefer that in Cherry Creek North versus downtown Denver.
Now, let's move into some of the cons here. Because it is such a hustling and bustling part of town with all the shopping and dining, you're gonna have a lot of traffic from outsiders coming in.
Correct.
Parking can become an issue. It's just a busy part of town.
Correct, and it connects to Spear. Spear runs all the way from downtown Denver, all the way southeast out toward central Denver where it's Leedsdale, but then that turns into Parker Road, and then Parker Road takes you all the way out. So when you are sitting there in Cherry Creek North, you're right at like the center of people coming in and coming out of downtown Denver.
Yeah.
We always talk about how many different access points you have to go into Denver, to go out of Denver, which is an amazing thing. The con though, if you live in Cherry Creek North, is one of those main access roads that gets you in and out of downtown Denver is Spear,
Yes.
which is right in the heart of Cherry Creek North. So if you're living down there, there's never really not a time of day where you've got some form of like traffic. Now, a lot of people that live down there, they don't mind it. That's why they want to live down there. They like being a part of the scene. They like things going. I know Gary Vee talks about he can't even sleep unless he hears noise outside of his window, and he lives in New York, right? So go figure. But you're definitely going to have a constant drip of traffic traffic and then an influx during rush hour that tends to just slow some things down. But if you live down there, it is very walkable, so it might not even be a problem for you, but it's definitely worth mentioning because of the type of traffic that you get there.
Now, one more con here, and this kind of ties into the previous one, but just speaking to the location of Cherry Creek itself, you don't have any really close highway ins or outs, okay?
Right.
So you're not really super close to downtown Denver. It's a 10, 12-minute drive. It's not far, but you're not near downtown, and you're not really near I-25, which is going to be your
Or
primary
I-70.
in and out, or I-70. So really getting in and out of the city, it takes a little bit.
And preferably, depending on the direction you guys are going, you're probably going you are a little bit closer to I-70, my opinion. You're going to be taking University, you're going to be taking Colorado Boulevard. But again, those are all main access points as well, and you're going to get some traffic. So just pick and choose what time you want to commute. You're also not that close to the airport. So if you travel a lot, the airport is not something that, it's not terribly far. You're definitely within an hour to the airport if you add traffic to it, because you're off the beaten path as far as like the highways that go. But if you don't have to travel that much, or if you're okay with a 45, 55-minute drive to the airport, shouldn't be a factor. And if that's the type of lifestyle that you want, then it's definitely more than worth it. That's something to consider. Our last one I think we can think about is just parking, right?
Yes.
So a pro to that is they did add a parking garage to Whole Foods, which has helped tremendously, because prior to that, they had like 10 spots at one of the biggest Whole Foods in the planet, right? Like the amount of parking they had for that place, for how big the building is, how much population is down there, it didn't make sense. Obviously, them having that garage there now, like that helps a ton, but there's still something to consider. You've got paid parking on the streets. If you live down there and you've got your condo or your apartment, I'm pretty sure you have paid parking that's attached to your apartment per month, or your condo that's underground. And then if you're back north into the neighborhood in single family homes, you'll have your 2-car garage, your car garage, and then
they do give you a parking pass too if you're a resident.
They do. But remember, on the weekends, like, you're just gonna get an influx. You do see a lot more parking during working hours during the week, and on the weekends when people want to shop at the mall, you can get a lot of parking that goes into the neighborhood. Some people get towed depending on where it's at, but something to consider.
All right, so now that we learned a little bit about Cherry Creek, let's head over to the map and take a little bit of a deeper look. All right, now right here, we are at Cherry Creek North in Denver. Let's go over our boundaries to start, okay? So up here on the north border, you're gonna have 6th Avenue. All right, now down here on the western border, we're gonna have University. Down here, Will mentioned Spear Boulevard earlier. This kind of traces Spear, cuts over here to Alameda, and then runs up here on Colorado Boulevard. Colorado Boulevard is going to be one of the primary ins and outs of Cherry Creek North. Colorado Boulevard is a north-south road. It's going to connect you all the way down here at I-25, which is our primary north-south highway. And then up here, this is where we are going to see Colfax. And then you've got I-25 here on the left-hand side and I-70 up on the north. This is our primary east-west highway that is going to take you all the way out to the mountains. And then again, you can see right here, our little area of Cherry Creek North. Now, Cherry Creek North is a fairly small part of Denver, but it is super, super, super densely populated, which is exactly why we were talking about it being so walkable. Now, you guys can see here, we've got Cherry Creek Shopping Center. This is the Cherry Creek Mall. This is a primary draw to Cherry Creek. And here on 1st Avenue and 2nd Avenue, this is where you're going to have most of your restaurants and your shopping and dining. Once you pass 2nd Avenue, start getting up into 3rd, 4th, and 5th, this is where you're primarily going to have all of your residences. So let's head over here to Google Earth now and take a look at just what this looks like from the street. Before I jump down here, let's give you a little bit of perspective just in terms of where Cherry Creek sits in relation to, some of the other primary features of Denver. So again, here, this is our Cherry Creek North area, okay? Right over here, we've got the Denver Country Club golf course, okay? This is a gorgeous golf course. It's beautiful. It is Cherry Creek Country Club. So this is something that you do need to be a member at to go golf at. But again, it's a beautiful part of the city. And then as you guys can see right over here, this is where we've got downtown Denver. So again, just for kind of perspective's sake, here we are with Cherry Creek North. You've got downtown Denver right here, just to the northwest. Okay, let's dive into Cherry Creek and check it out a little bit. Now on the very west side border, here's University, which is bordering on the west side. We are going to see this Whole Foods right here. was a massive draw for people for a long time because there wasn't any other Whole Foods in Denver besides this one in Cherry Creek. Now we have one in lower downtown, right in the downtown area near Union Station, which is really good. So that alleviated a lot of the pressure here. And let's go ahead and take a little stroll down 2nd Avenue here, because 1st Avenue is primarily reserved for the shopping mall, which is right here. So jumping up here to 2nd Avenue, we'll be able to really take a look at some of the primary shopping and dining centers that there are here in Cherry Creek. So as we mentioned before, plenty of parking garages, right? You've got a mixture of apartments, you've got hotels like we've got right here. Cherry Cricket, this is Cherry Cricket right here. This is one of the oldest Denver bars. Phenomenal hamburgers. If you guys are in town, you definitely want to check out Cherry Cricket. There is one downtown now as well. A little bit of construction going on here. Let's keep working our way down. More corporate buildings that are here. So it's really a mix of business, of shopping, of eating. You've got condos here. True Food, this is another really good restaurant. Let's keep working our way down here a little bit. You're truly going to have a little bit of everything in downtown Cherry Creek. Now, I'm just going to jump into this area here real quick if it'll let me. So this is where we will have the Cherry Creek Art Festival. A lot of festivals and things happen in Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek Art Festival is definitely one of the more popular ones, but it happens right in this whole strip. They shut the whole thing down. It's a really good draw to Cherry Creek. Highly recommend if you guys are in town and that's going on to go check it out. Now let's keep going down here a little bit. There we go. All right. Now, let's see here. I'm going to start heading up here. So let's go up this road here, because what I want to do now is kind of get off the shopping track a little bit and take you guys up to see some of the homes. So now as we are coming down this road right here, we are on Milwaukee Street, and then we are going to come up here on, let's see what road this is. This should be, I believe this is 3rd. Yep. Okay. So this is 3rd. So now that we're coming up on 3rd, we're going to start transitioning into homes. All right. Now, man, we mentioned, many times that there's, scrapes and new builds that are going on here, and you can see exactly that. Okay. So most likely these were older, outdated homes. These also could have been older, outdated businesses that they now are putting up some, it looks like potentially townhomes. This home is going to give you a good idea as far as some of the kind of like normal types of homes you can expect to see out here. It's kind of hard with the tree blocking, but you can see how it's like, got a nice contemporary look. Here is more of a traditional, probably a more original style of home that's out here. All right. Then you're going to see these homes taken down and something like this or like this put up in its place. Or a lot of times they'll keep the existing foundation and they will just build up on top of it, and that's what we call a pop top out here. So let's keep going down here a little bit. Interesting home over here. You've got this little more traditional style home here. Let's keep going. And this is why I mentioned before, just the variety of homes that you're going to see out here. You've got your modern contemporary here. You've got more of your traditional style home here. But this definitely is not a cookie cutter type of neighborhood. Here's some more just classic Denver homes that were all here, like from the 40s and 50s, right across the street from these massive, gorgeous homes. You can see one right behind it here as well. These are all very common in Cherry Creek. This is exactly what you can expect to see out here. Average home prices out here are about 2.2 million. Okay. Even the condos and townhomes out here are priced high like that because Cherry Creek really this is the draw to people to get here. It's a very, very, very desirable area. They're willing to pay to get in here. And then this is going to be once we pass over. So right now we're at 500 block. Okay. So this is between 5th and 6th. As you start getting further out of Cherry Creek, as in 5th and 6th Street, that's where you're going to see the homes start to change, prices start to drop. The closer you guys get down to, let's call it 3rd, 4th, and set between 2nd and 3rd, 3rd and 4th, 4th and 5th. This is where you're going to see the most expensive homes. Once you start passing over the 5th block here, this is where the prices are going to drop dramatically, but you're still in Cherry Creek. So there's a lot of good opportunity there.
All right, guys, before we get into our second top neighborhood pro and con, we want to remind you that we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, and just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs.
That's right.
So number that's popping up below. We are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if we can help you, we would love to. But with that being said, let's jump into our number 2 top neighborhood pro and con. All right, moving ahead, next up is Wash Park. Now, we're not that far from Cherry Creek Mall or
Super
Cherry
close.
Creek North, which we just mentioned. However, they are two different types of living. There's two different styles. The influx you have on the weekends, the amenities and things you have to do if you are a resident over there, they are completely different, even though you're in such a close proximity when you're looking at it from the map, but just understand they are very different. So if you're considering either one, take a look at both.
Yeah. Wash Park is one of the most popular neighborhoods that we have here in all of Denver. It has been for a very, very long time. It's also one of the most prestigious. So when you look at Wash Park, the primary draw to Wash Park is Wash Park itself, which features two huge bodies of water and just so many fun activities.
You've got trails, you've got so many events. Like, that's probably your number one pro, is if you live in this neighborhood, between all the 5Ks and dog walks and events going on at the park, between spring, summer, and fall, there's never not something to do at Wash Park every single weekend, as far as like just getting outdoors, whether it's gonna be running these trails, biking them, participating in a 5K, the farmers markets that they have, like really cool.
And what you'll find with the homes in Wash Park is that they've done a lot more, I feel, to preserve kind of the historic feel of Denver within Wash Park. Don't get me wrong, you'll see plenty of homes
Scrapes
that have
and
been
moderns.
torn down and built, and there's something modern contemporary, but you'll see a lot of homes that are the original homes. Maybe they've popped the top and added a second story or an extension on the back, but they really try and preserve really the classic Denver charm.
Well, and what's great about Wash Park is even their original homes, what we call here in Colorado, we call them bungalow homes, bungalow style homes. I don't know if that's my mom coined that.
No,
Who
it
knows?
is. It's one of the styles.
Is it? Okay, well, hey, shout out to you, Mom. Rest in peace. You had it right. I always thought you made that word up.
Nope,
And then here I am using it as a realtor. They're huge.
Yeah.
The basements are huge. The main levels are huge. They're just really cool. So a lot of them that are built out in Wash Park, there's no need to pop a top. Just a lot of remodels that they do within these homes. Not only do you get the great cultured, nostalgic Denver style, but it's brand new on the inside and a lot of great amenities. So because of the type of home that was built there originally, there's just not a need to do a ton. But Colorado also does a great job at protecting some of those. So you're only going to see so many modern scrapes and modern builds.
Now, we know there's no shortage of activities to do at Wash Park, right? But it doesn't just stop at the park. There's a amazing sense of community when you're looking at art shows and farmers markets and all of the
Bonnie
community
Bray ice
events that they
cream.
put together, getting together with Bonnie Bray ice cream, awesome place. But that also leads into one of our cons, because with everything I just mentioned, there's really no central shopping or dining strip within Wash Park. You're gonna have to go to Cherry
you've got that
Creek
one
or-
main street. You've got that
over to, like,
downtown Wash Park.
Yeah, but there's
With
still
one restaurant.
Yeah, there's like one
coffee
block
shop.
of it. Yeah.
One little block of it. You've got one or two. You've got two restaurants. You've got a little coffee shop. You've got some commercial spots that are down there, but not a ton. You definitely have to venture out if you want more. But venturing out could be Cherry Creek North, which is just north, probably 5-7 minutes north on University, and it puts you right in the heart of Cherry Creek.
And worth mentioning, as part of a con, we've said a ton of pros so far, is that it gets super busy on the weekend. With those farmers markets and the community events that I just mentioned, in addition to all the traffic of people just coming to the park, streets get super narrow when you got cars parked on both sides and then two cars trying to drive past each other.
You just don't have a lot of parking at the park. Right? Like they do have a couple of parking lots, but they get filled up so quick.
And it bleeds over to the neighborhoods.
It does. It bleeds over to the neighborhoods. You do have South High School. That's right over there. So like people do park at the high school, but the park is so big. Like the high school is down on the southeast corner. It does serve a purpose. It does allow people to park there, but the problem is the park is so big. If you're going to be a quarter of the way up, halfway up, or all the way toward the north side of the park, you're not walking that whole thing to park at the high school. So it's just going to, like, all of your parking tends to bleed into the neighborhoods. And if you were to imagine just surrounding the park, it's all going to just that ripple effect of where parking happens. So if you're within the first couple of blocks of Wash Park, also just be mindful, like, you probably have a 2-car garage, you probably have your driveway and all of those things, but just know that the street parking is going to get pretty busy on the weekends.
Yeah, and it is just something, it's a small price to pay for living in Denver's absolute best neighborhood. You know, all the things that are there, guys.
I mean, they've got a fire station on the northeast side of the park.
Yeah.
Right. So if you need anything, or if there's any emergencies, I mean, you literally have a fire station from one of the Denver fire stations that's right there. So regardless of what you need, like, really hard to beat.
All right, Washington Park, one of my absolute favorite neighborhoods. Let's dive into it. Starting off, guys, let's give us a little context as far as where we are sitting in relation to Cherry Creek that we just talked about. All right, so we've got Washington Park right here, okay? Now, the northern border of Washington Park is First Avenue. That also is the same First Avenue that is right here in Cherry Creek North. So Cherry Creek North is this whole section right here that we just covered. And then you've got Wash Park, which is basically First Avenue all the way down to I-25 here on the southern border. You've got University on the eastern border, and then you've got Downing Street on the western border. And then this is the park itself. All right. Now, that high school that Will mentioned is right down here on the south side of the park. You've got your tennis courts here, huge body of lake right here. You've got basketball courts. You've got a trail that goes around the whole thing. And then you've got Smith Lake up here, which is the north side lake. This is also where you will have a lot of 5Ks that happen around here, a lot of charity events. All of this right here will be filled with volleyball nets in the summertime. So all sorts of cool stuff happens around here, guys. But let's head over to Google Earth and take a look and drive some of the streets here. All right, so here we are. Let me get this reoriented for you guys so you can have a little bit of perspective. All right, and so again, we've got I-25 right here, and this is north. We're south down here. Here is our park. So again, you guys can see really how close we are to Cherry Creek Shopping Center, which is right over here, okay? And then we've got downtown Denver that is right over here. So you're looking at maybe a 10 to 12 minute drive up Spear Boulevard, which hits that northern border of Wash Park up to downtown. So you are extremely close. Now here, our average home price is gonna be about 1.8 million. And just like anything, the closer you are to the park, the more expensive the homes, okay? So let's go ahead and just jump into a couple of these so you guys can start getting a look and feel for what the neighborhood actually feels like. So we're gonna come down here onto Franklin Street, the street that borders the park. So we've got the park right over here. We've got these homes right over here that overlook the park. Again, this would be some of your more premium real estate in Wash Park. We're gonna drive through here, some of the trees so we can see some of the homes. Surprised we're not seeing anyone in the park yet here. It's usually pretty busy, but you guys can see that there's good sized lots here. The homes have a lot of character. There are so many trees and it is so green everywhere you're going. Again, similar to Cherry Creek, you're going to see a variety of homes here, right? Very few of them are going to look alike. You've got 3 different styles. This looks like the Home Alone house, right? Maybe just a little bit smaller. Then you've got this one here that, you know, almost has like kind of the Tuscany vibe to it. And then you've got more modern contemporary right here. A ton of variety, but all gorgeous homes. Okay, now you can start to see some runners here in the park, but huge park here, guys. It's massive. It's one of the biggest that we have here in Denver, and Denver is just known for having just a ton of parks. Now these, we start to lose a little bit of front yard. You can see the homes are sitting a little bit closer to the sidewalks. You know, some homes have a lot of land, some homes have, you know, a little bit, but almost intentionally. Like, I promise these people, they love that their house or their yard is low maintenance. They get to spend their time taking care of their flowers, not mowing a big lawn, right? Let's go ahead and come down here a little bit. We're going to shoot off, you know, down one of our side streets here, just to give you guys a little bit more context as to what we can expect some of these homes in the neighborhoods to feel like. Now, keep in mind, if this were on a weekend, all of these streets would be full with people parked here on the edges. So if you're in one of these homes, you know, you can see like these guys, they've got a garage in the back that is alley access. These guys have a little driveway that they can pull up to. Here's another just cool modern contemporary design with a driveway, and then they've got in the back alley access as well. That is one thing about most of these homes, is they will have most of the garages in the back. Put your trash cans out in the alley in Denver and stuff. They're not, because of street parking, garbage trucks can't come down and pick up everyone's trash, so they'll just drive down the alleyways and pick it up. So alleyways are actually, you know, very they're utilized out here. This is one of those bungalow style of homes that you'll hear we'll talk about, and this is actually a pop top as well. So with this you know, kind of wide base here, you'll see these columns and then this shape of a roof. This is the bungalow style home that he's referencing. And then what they've done is they've then popped the top and they've done this addition up here, but have kept the original base of the home. So people always get real creative with their architecture out here. Again, you know, Denver being a historic city, people always do their best to preserve the kind of historic charm that the city has to offer, which means trying to keep as much as they can of the original city vibes. So hopefully this gives you guys some context in terms of, you know, what it kind of looks like living in these areas. And I'm going to see here real quick if this can, yeah, so this is going to take me into the park here. One thing I love about Wash Park is is there's usually plenty of parking on the inside, especially if you go there during a weekday. You can see here I turned into the park and there's all this parking here that they have available. You can see here just the big lake. And again, none of these you're not allowed to any motorboats or anything like that on these lakes. You can go and rent paddle boards and things like that. They try and really preserve the serenity of the park, so you're not going to hear loud engines or motors or anything like that, guys. But this is some insight into Wash Park. Let's head over to the next neighborhood.
All right, moving right along, we will be talking about Lower Highland, or more formally known as Lohi.
That's right. That's right.
Super cool
Now, if you guys have been following our channel at all, you know this is one of my personal favorites.
Yep.
We always say it. And guys, one of the things I love.
Italian food, Japanese food.
All of it.
Sophisticated. They
all of it.
Listen, they cuff their jeans down there. They wear Doc Martens, right?
They do.
Like,
it's cool.
right
It's
up his
trendy. It's hip. It's a fantastic place for young professionals. You will see greater mixture of renters versus homeowners there, because they do have quite a bit of apartments. But again, that just ties into the whole, why it's such a hot spot for young professionals.
Correct. And let's just get into one of the first pros, in addition to some of the pros we've already given some clues on. It is right across the highway from downtown Denver.
Yep.
However, you've got a road and you've got a walkable bridge that's just for pedestrians to cross right over into lower downtown. So if you do work downtown, or if you just like being downtown but you want a place to live, and there's not a lot of residences lower downtown, like there's just not. It's all commercial building, very little. You've got Union Station down there, but a lot of your residents are just right across the highway, right across the bridge in Lohi. So one of your pros is definitely proximity to downtown Denver.
By far, this is probably the best neighborhoods with single family homes, as close as you can get to downtown Denver. When he mentioned that bridge, yes, it's a 6-minute walk, across from Lower Highlands to right downtown, where you've got all the parks. And it's a great part of downtown too. You're going right into Lodo, where there's anything and everything you could possibly need. But coming back to Lower Highlands, again, if I had to summarize the pros, it primarily would just be the cool factor, the trendy factor of Lohi, and how much
the
is fun
skyline,
shopping,
the
dining.
photos. There's not a better place to Instagram city life
true.
than being in Lohi. Really cool spot.
Yeah.
We have to give a shout out to Little Man Ice Cream.
Always.
It's a great spot. We never get Little Man Ice Cream because we're always
talk about it a lot.
We're always keeping these. We're
You
getting
got it.
older.
You got it
We're
one
dads.
time.
I got it one time, and I had to get some gluten. It wasn't even the real kind. I had to get some for the video.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'm so not used to the sugar Benedict. I think I just crashed and took a nap on the way out after we were done filming.
So.
But we're dads now.
Yeah.
We're in our mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
We can't be eating that stuff all the
That's
time.
right.
But we should. I don't know why. I like ice cream when it's cold too. Like I've never been an ice cream guy in the summer, right?
Oh, you mean cold outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Ice cream is cold.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
That's confusing.
Let's get back to it, right? Like, let's get back to the content. But as far as like the restaurants that are down there, proximity to Denver, you still have single family homes. You've got dog parks. So I want to say, when you talk about trendy, even though Lohi is a smaller area, the way it's used, they fit a lot into that little area, and it's very usable, no wasted space. They fit parks, they fit dog parks, they fit restaurants, apartments. Like, they've been very creative with the development. So even though it seems kind of small per se, it's almost like an IKEA.
Kind of.
Right? Like you walk in, it's like you get like a little small room to remodel, but if you do the right stuff from IKEA, you're like, man, I got everything in here.
They put so much here.
You put so much into such a little space, right? Like,
Can we turn our beds into bunk beds? How you doing over there? Really good. Okay.
I feel like that's Lohi.
Yes, man, great analogy. Now, moving into the cons. Again, it's hard to pick a lot here, right? But the first one that comes to mind is traffic.
Yep.
So one of the things about Lower Highlands is it's right off I-25, right where Spear, like Will mentioned earlier, intersects with it. And then you've got like 20th, and you've got a lot of major streets that are all coming together in conjunction with the highway, mixed with the downtown traffic. And if there's a sports game going on or something, you're also battling stadium traffic.
Mixed with like railroad, like it just, you're a long way from peace and quiet when it comes to, sorry, Fly.
Got this thing.
You're a long way from peace and quiet when it comes to, like if you're trying to look for some of that space. You're not too far commute-wise to the mountains, but you're kind of right in the heart of everything. There's no real getting away from that. So I don't know if you're looking to get away from that, but if you are, it's definitely gonna have to be a commute, and you're gonna have to take the time to do it. Versus like if you live in suburbia out in Southeast Aurora or Castle Rock, you can literally walk outside your front door and have fresh air and peace and quiet. Just not something you're gonna have when you live in someplace like Lohi.
Yeah, and what you'll find here, guys, again, another potential con for you is it's just a popular place. You're gonna get a lot of traffic there. I mean, that's where, if my wife and I are heading downtown for date night or something, we're typically going to Lohi. There's a lot that goes on there, so you're gonna get a lot of traffic.
Correct. All right, so getting into it, let's get Eli back in there and let's have you guys take a look at the Google Earth for Lohi and everything that it has to offer.
All right, now saving my absolute personal favorite for last, Lower Highlands. Let's dive into it. Now, as always, let's lay out our borders. All right, so we've got Lower Highlands right here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see where we're at in relation to downtown. So we've got downtown Denver right here. This is our traditional LODO or lower downtown area. And right here on the other side of the highway, on the west side of the highway here, I-25, which borders this kind of eastern side of Lower Highlands. We've got 38th on the north side. We've got Zunai on the west side here, and then 27th down here on the bottom. Now, again, fairly small portion of Denver, right? However, you're gonna find so much to see and do here. You guys can already see right here, man, this is even giving you probably half of it, but all these, you know, here's Little Man Ice Cream, Mizu Izakaya, a really good sushi place, My Neighbor Felix, amazing Mexican food, and just all sorts of stuff that is around here. Avanti, best views of downtown Denver on the porch at Avanti right here. So much fun things to do here, so many good places to eat. So again, even if this doesn't end up being the place that you guys call home, this will definitely be a place that you frequently visit, or if you're coming out here for a vacation or to check out some neighborhoods with us, you're going to want to swing by here for sure. Now, let's jump over to Google Earth and take a look at what we've got going on over here. So again, just to give you guys context again, we've got Coors Field right here, just directly across the highway from Lower Highlands. Okay, so you're right in the middle of everything here. You've got that bridge, one of the bridges right here that connects Lower Highlands over to lower downtown. And then the pedestrian bridge right here, this is called the Millennium Bridge. This is going to also connect, or actually I apologize. This is a pedestrian bridge going from Lower Highlands to across the highway. Then for being technical, they've got it listed, the Highlands Bridge is actually the Millennium Bridge that will go over the South Platte River, that will connect this other part of lower downtown going across the river to Denver, right? Just really the heart of Denver that we've got right over here. Now, fun fact about the South Platte River, you can literally do tubing and stuff on here. This is actually a river that is used quite often by locals. They'll like tube to work days, which are pretty funny. You've got the downtown aquarium that's right here. So a lot of things that are going on right in this neighborhood, okay? Now, what I want to show you is just a couple of the more popular areas that you're going to be able to find some fun dining and fun places to go and check out. So let me jump into Street View right here. I mentioned Avanti before having some of the best views of downtown Denver. This is Avanti right here. It is what they call a collective eatery, which is like a fancy word for a food, but it's really good food that's inside there. Good small businesses. And then on the back side of this is where, I'm gonna see if I can show you our views. On the back side of this, they've got this big outdoor porch area, okay, or patio area. And you can't really tell based on the elevation right now, but let me zoom out a little bit. But you do sit fairly high right here, and you kind of look down and over all of downtown Denver here. So again, from the patio here on Avanti, you've just got some absolutely amazing views of downtown. So highly recommended that you guys go and check that place out. Now, directly across the street from Avanti right here, you've got this place called The Backyard. That's a fairly new place. We're going to see if Google Maps has it updated or not yet. They do. So The Backyard, this is a great place for brunch. It's going to be super busy on the weekends, but it is so fun. Amazing outdoor patio area similar to Avanti. Very Instagram-y. Like they've got just very cool aesthetic designs in there. It's a place, again, if you're a young professional and you're coming to check out Lohi and you want a very cool place for brunch that you can throw on your social media, this is going to be a really good option for you. Let's cut down one of the streets here because I want to give you guys a feel for the apartment living that you're going to have out here, some condos and townhomes. You know, when you're here more on the kind of more commercial side of Lower Highlands, this is where you're going to find the majority of the multifamily style living here. Okay, let's go ahead and cut up this road right here, and you're going to see a lot more of these. These are most likely condos versus apartments, and constantly work going on in these areas. come down here, check some of these out. And then these are kind of interesting. So you're going to see these just really like, man, older style Denver homes. Okay. And then your contemporary multi-level top deck where you can overlook Denver, more contemporary single family style homes. And then one thing about Highlands as opposed to someplace like Wash Park is you're gonna have smaller lots. They put more homes in there. They're a little bit tighter together. But again, most of the people that are living here, they don't want to necessarily take care of a lot of land or have to mow a lot of grass. Now, here, what you're also going to find, you're going to find more traditional style Denver homes similar to these, more so than you would find in Wash Park type of area. So I would say there's a little bit more of a blend of, you know, these style of homes. This is a duplex right here, and just kind of the older Denver style home. Now, this is going to bring us to an average price point of around $800,000 in Highlands. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, these newer contemporary homes, those are easily going to cross into the 1.5 to 2 millions. But then in some of the homes, you know, like this that maybe haven't been updated as much, those are going to be on the less expensive side of things. And, you know, there are a ton of investment opportunities out here. As you guys can see, every street I've turned on, there's been some sort of development going on. Here is a scrape literally happening in the moment right here, where they're taking down this old home, probably less than 1,000 square feet. They'll probably hit this one too, unless that's, you know, part of the same house. They're going to put up something like this. So this is just how, man, Denver is just continuing to grow and expand. But again, what I love is that you're going to have a good amount, similar to Wash Park, of homes that they preserve and keep like this. You're not seeing them just tear down block by block and just put up all these homes that look alike. All the neighborhoods that we showed you today have done a really good job of keeping just the good Denver vibe, so that it doesn't just turn into this, you know, hey, all the homes look the same and this doesn't even feel like Denver anymore. Very, very important to note that. So guys, this is Lower Highlands, absolutely one of my favorite neighborhoods by far. Again, I can't stress enough, if you're in town, go check it out. Let's head back to the video and we'll get you guys out of here.
All right, guys, there you have it. There is our top 3 neighborhoods, the pros and cons to them, along with the expert pilot from Google Earth over here, giving you guys everything you need to know and actually see when it comes to those areas. But just as a reminder, we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, and just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So the number that's popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. If we can help you, we would love to. With that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys very soon.
That's right. See you guys.